Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video on my channel. In this video I would like to share a few objects with you that you can capture with a beginner astrophotography setup. So these are objects that can be imaged with a very affordable and small astrophotography setup. But now let's get started. The very first object that is very easy to capture is the Andromeda galaxy. This galaxy is very bright in the night sky and it's also very big. So you can capture this galaxy with affordable equipment. So I've even captured that one with the 75 to 300mm lens, which is a very affordable lens for astrophotography. It's a very good object because it's very bright, which means that you only need a very short exposure time in order to capture amazing images of this galaxy. You can use different focal lengths when planning to capture this galaxy, but I often plan to capture this galaxy with a focal length of around 150mm when using a lens, for example. But I've also captured this galaxy with a focal length of almost 800mm. So you can definitely capture this galaxy with different equipment and also with these beginner astrophotography setups. The next object that is very easy to capture is the Pleiades star cluster. The Pleiades star cluster is a very easy object, so you can even see it in the night sky with your own eyes, which is very good because you can even find it in the night sky very easily. And that is another aspect. The Pleiades star cluster is very bright and big in the night sky, so even when capturing a single image, you can already see the Pleiades star cluster, and when it's dark enough, so when you have less light pollution, you can even see the nebula around the star cluster in a single image. And the good thing about the Pleiades star cluster is that you can use different equipment for it. So you can use a very wide field lens or a big telescope, and each image brings out different aspects of this star cluster. The next object I would like to talk about is the Orion Nebula. The Orion Nebula is a very big object and in my opinion the easiest object that you can capture in the night sky. So it's very easy to find because it's located in the Orion constellation and you can even see it with your eyes in the night sky, which makes finding this object very easy in the end. And just when capturing a single image of the Orion Nebula, you can already see a few structures in your image. So just in a single image. You can capture the Orion Nebula with different focal length. I've captured it, for example, with 75mm of focal length, 135mm, and even with almost 800mm. So you can definitely capture this object with different equipment, and each image is definitely a good one. But it really depends on the maximum exposure time. So when collecting a longer exposure time, your image will be better for sure. But you can also capture amazing images of the Orion Nebula with a relatively short exposure time. The next object I would like to talk about is the North American Nebula. The North American Nebula is a very easy object as well because it's located in the Milky Way region, which makes finding it very easy. And the good thing about the North American Nebula is that it's very big and you can capture it with different focal lengths. So you do not need a very big telescope for capturing this object because it's very big. And in my opinion, the best way to capture this region is by simply using a very wide field telescope or a lens like this one, because it's so big and I really like to capture the surrounding of this nebula because it's located in the Milky Way region. So there are so many amazing objects around this nebula, which makes it a great object for wide field astrophotography. And once again, in this case, you do not need a very long exposure time in order to capture amazing images. But in this case, I would like to mention that it might be very helpful to use an astro-modified DSLR camera because there's a lot of H-alpha in the North American Nebula. Therefore, using an astro-modified DSLR camera is definitely an advantage here, so when planning to capture this object. So if your DSLR camera is not astro-modified, you can definitely capture the North American Nebula too, but still your exposure time needs to be a bit longer to capture amazing structures, but still it's a very easy object. These are the objects I've planned to introduce to you. If you have any further questions about these objects or about imaging these objects, definitely feel free to ask me down below in the comments and I will definitely help you. If this video was interesting and helpful to you, I would really appreciate a like and a subscription. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching and until next time, clear skies, Felix.